So Disney, they have their fair share of fucked up things. I mean, just look at Miley Cyrus with the whole Hannah Montana situation. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all knew that she was on bad drugs because of all the mental abuse and physical abuse that she was undergoing. Selena Gomez, for example. I mean, you can look at her now. She's such a huge advocate for young children, and you know why? Because she went through a fucked up past. And you might be thinking, when? Disney. Like, I'm trying to tell you guys, like, her childhood, she even says her childhood before the fame was so much better. But then she went into Disney and things just changed. And if you think Disney's the only one, let's look at their best friend, Nickelodeon. Because Sam Puckett, who used to be on iCarly, yeah, she quit iCarly because she wasn't comfortable with Dan Schneider and how he was doing the whole thing. I mean, he was just very weird and uncomfortable. And then guess what? She went broke. So of course she had to transition to Sam and Cat. And even then, it's ironic that Sam and Cat got canceled halfway through their second season because she couldn't do it. I'm trying to tell you guys, this is some real shit. There's a lot of television in television. They're just trying to television, and all of it is to disrupt the youth. They're trying to kill us.
And you guys remember Cameron Boyce, I'm sure. Cameron Boyce had a very great, he got off to a great start, a great acting career, very young. What makes you think, like what led him to take the pills and kill himself? Like actually think about that. Someone who has all that going at such a young age, what is going to lead him to do that? It's because you don't realize what happens behind these closed doors. The deals you got to sign, the things you got to do to get these deals, to stay locked in for these positions is nasty. It is inhumane. But you really got to question it. I mean, because there's also so many people speak out against it. Look at Isaac Cappy. Look what happened to Isaac Cappy. Isaac Cappy was another actor. Now he's not young like Cameron Boyce, but he was a whole grown man and he had been in a lot of movies, very successful. But he spoke out against it. He name dropped Tom Hanks, a huge actor. And Tom Hanks is actually, as of right now, October 6th, I think, or October 7th, it's rumored that as of a few days ago, he is possibly going to be looked into here soon for child trafficking. And as soon as Isaac Cappy says that, 2 days later, he dies. He jumped off a bridge and committed suicide. Crazy, isn't it?
I think it's really interesting that you brought up the Dan Schneider thing. Because look at I think it's called Schneider's Bakery. That consisted of Victorious, iCarly,
Sam and Cat.
Yeah, all of those. You notice how much like child sexualization was going on, especially feet. The big foot fetish. Like it was. I didn't even like realize stuff like that when I was a kid. But now looking at it, I mean, you got these young girls with their toes on the screen, and this guy's just in the back having a great time.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. They used to do the weirdest shit. Like I remember seeing Andre from Victorious play the keyboard with his fucking feet. I'm sitting here like, first off, I'm sitting here like, first off, where does this even make sense? And then I grew up and I realized what foot fetishes were and how weird people like Dan Schneider actually are. And then it all clicked.
What about that episode where I can't remember what it was called now, but on Victorious they were parodying it was called the Breakfast Bunch, I think it was.
Oh yeah, the Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club, frick. I think it was called the Breakfast Bunch or something like that. It was a big parody. Right. Well, in that, Tori freaking grabs this bow and arrow for her talent because it's trying to rip off one of the scenes. And she shoots this bow and arrow with her feet.
Yeah.
Like, well, what's the point of that? That's not just some special talent. You think about how uncomfortable these girls were filming that.
No, seriously. And then, because you got to think, you got to reshoot that probably 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, 10 times.
And hit the bullseye, pull your feet back out.
And at that point, any good producer, any good director, any good person in position is going to be like, yeah, we're not wasting that much time. But they did. Because I know if I was directing that shit, after the second try, I'd be like, yeah, fuck this. Let's just scrap that and, do another special talent. But you know why they had to do it over and over to hit the bullseye? Because that's what they wanted. That's why. It's not a weird coincidence, guys. It's literally what they wanted.
Yeah, if it happens one time, okay, yeah, it's funny. They're showing feet. They're shooting bow and arrows with their feet. Haha. They show it 2 times. Okay, it's funny still, right?
Got painted toes. We're wiggling our toes around.
Exactly. But then they show it 3 times. Then they show it 4 times. Then they show it 5 times. And then it becomes in multiple times in this TV show. Then you see it in this TV show. Then you see it in this TV show.
Sometimes
then you see it a second time in this TV show.
Sometimes it just...
Yeah, exactly.
It'll get its own part in the show. It's a special part. when Freddy's dragging the mouse, it'll click right to Carly Shay's feet or something. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like I said, like it happens just a few times. Okay, maybe they're trying to be funny, but once it's again and again and again and again, you got it.
It's obvious.
And I love how you brought up Schneider's Bakery, because what do you do in a bakery? You cook, you prepare, you're grooming. This man was literally grooming right in front of us in broad daylight. He even called it Schneider's Bakery. And another thing, go to New York and ask what pizza means.
Oh, we getting into Pizzagate now? We'll have to save that another time. We're not trying to die yet.
But that's the point, guys. Schneider's Bakery, Pizzagate, all these coincidences, and you guys still think we're conspiracy theorists. Which, by the way, let me tell you how the word conspiracy theorist came to be. So, conspiracy theory was literally a word invented by the CIA whenever people accused them of murdering JFK, which then in 2022, ironically, the CIA unveiled that they did have a part in doing with John F. Kennedy's death, which then in turn means the word that they coined, conspiracy theorists, is just contradicting. It's not real, because conspiracy theorist just means you saw the bullshit.
Yup. There's always got to be some truth to it.
A big thing you said with conspiracy theorists, we're going to bring it back to the gender politics. Don't ever let anyone who believes that men can get pregnant or that there's more than two genders, don't ever let them call you a conspiracy theorist, because they're operating off their own delusions. I mean, it's actually wild. They get to make up whatever gender they want. We're supposed to go with it because it's their autonomy. No, what about the things grounded in reality, like biology?
We just seem to forget about that every fucking day.
It's no coincidence that Bill Nye the Science Guy, his episode over biology and the sex chromosomes, it's missing now. Don't worry, he's pumping out new stuff, talking about climate change.
I only have one thing to say, then I'll rest my case. Why is it in nature every single animal we look at is identified as male and female only? I rest my case.
Yeah, but for humans it's different. And it's only different now. They'll bring up stuff from like years ago saying, like with the feminine mystique, all that stuff, how it's always been a spectrum. Up until the 2010s, that was never a problem. You never had little girls questioning if they were men or not. Like tom girls, they never questioned if they actually needed to go through the gender reassignment surgery.
And now you're starting to see how it comes full circle, because it's going to make you mentally ill, you're going to become depressed, and who are you going to go to? Because we're also glorifying now when you're depressed, you got to go to the doctor, you got to get your happy pills. They're going to
Big pharma.
people. Exactly. It's full circle. It's for a reason. People out here, the wicked people out here are profiting billions every single day. And I can't say billions every single day because they're making over $365 billion per year. That is a fact. Pfizer in itself, I mean, I'm not going to get into it.
We can't get into Pfizer, man. We got a full part for Pfizer coming up. Oh, dude, I just thought so. Drake Bell, Drake and Josh, Dan Schneider's project. Think about it. This guy, he's supposed to be the cool dude, right? He gets all the girls. No one messes with Josh. They mess with Drake. Well, who's to say that fame didn't go to his head? Because he's fucking grooming little kids now.
Had a real court case, bro. Like, that's crazy.
I forgot about that, actually. He did.
Yeah, he had a real court case. And that's after he tried to freaking run away to Mexico or something, bro.
Was that? Oh, he's trying to flee the scene.
Yeah, he really did. And
why would you flee if you're not guilty?
And then it's like you said, on top of, playing on the show, he was always aware. Like, he already had that cool role, right? So to grow up and continue that thing, it just shows how godless the whole operation was. They didn't teach him morals. They didn't teach him shit. They put Drake on a pedestal and they're like, hey, you know how you do this on a TV show? Yeah, you can do it in real life too. So he did. And now look at him, all caught up, old and dusty. But it's just what happens. I mean, another example is the Home Alone kid, Mr. McCollum.
Oh, yeah, dude. That kid
wasn't he?
Huh?
Is he like cracked out?
Maybe he was. I think he's clean now, but it was after all the fucking getting drugged through the mud. You know what I mean? Like, to some people, it is what it happens. You get drugged through the mud and your life changes, right? Like the McCollum guy. But even then, it still proves, like, Home Alone. It was just a regular movie about, robbers breaking into the house and kids,
Kids got saved the day.
Kids got saved the day. But I really think it all had to do a lot with, like, human trafficking and little signals and shit like that. Because Mr. McCollum got older and he is not the same motherfucker.
There was definitely some, like, mental
Like warfare, like mental warfare.
No, I was gonna say like it jacked with his mind. Something went on.
Dude,
I think
I'm
I'm
already connecting some dots with Home
I
Alone.
think I'll pull back on that.
Because think of it this way.
They were also in Chicago.
You said kids saved the day, right? Isn't that ironic? As in, like, they got these burglars trying to break into this kid that's home alone, right? The kid has to pay for himself, right? Who could these burglars hypothetically be? These burglars could be the same. Exactly. They could be the same people that are out here trying to,
Why are they so adamant about getting in the house when there's a little boy in there?
That's what I mean. And then the kid's there, aka like think of all this, because I remember watching the Home Alone movies. That kid would show so many signs of people are in the house, like don't break in, like there's people in the house. But the robbers just kept trying. It almost has to do with like the industry and how they just keep trying to get at the kids. They just keep trying to get the kids. And then, ironically, the kids are gonna save the day too. It's weird. It's
we the kids.
We the kids that they try to get, and they didn't get it. They didn't get us, because like they even sometimes like spoil it for themselves. I feel like because they probably never would have thought that we'd look at it that way. You know what I mean? But
no, dude, it definitely. I'm gonna bring it back to something real quick.
Oh yeah.
We're not gonna lie to you. Once you find out the truth, and it's not a subjective thing. There is an objective truth. You just have to look for it. Once you find it out, your life will get worse, because then you're going to start connecting things and you'll feel like you can't win, but you can win. Start going to the gym, start reading. Think about how to improve your life and the lives of others. You have to be philanthropic with this stuff. You can't only be thinking about yourself. It's important to make sure you're right, but you got to think of others, because what liberalism is complete governance of the self. Conservatism is the family, all the things that brought America together. The family, the family unit, the community, and really just religion, the connection with God. That's what kept people in line. There is no one fears anything anymore. They don't even fear the government, because they're pushing for the government. They don't have that whole fear, because they're working for them. There's no boots to lick.
Once you have politicians that start campaigning to take our guns away, you guys need to be concerned, because look at what's happening in America right now. I know a lot of people, the mass shootings. Guys, you don't get it. The only reason we haven't gone full commie mode where we have to shut up and comply. The only reason we don't is because we can fight back. Why? Look at what's happening now. It's no coincidence as things are getting more extreme. They ironically want to take our guns away. They take the guns away. We can't revolt. You guys realize that? Like, it's a psyop. It really is. America, it's an interesting place, because I'm not going to call us the best of the best, but I'm not going to call us the worst of the worst. But at the same time, nowhere in the world is great right now. So it's not a bad spot to be. But you also got to realize that of all the first world countries, we're the only ones that can defend ourselves. Like, actually, look at China. They have a social credit score system they have to live by. If you don't think the right way, if you don't think in ways that the government, what I'm trying to say is the government
must align
you,
with their views and what they're pushing.
Exactly. Like, that's so horrible. Like, we are all unique human beings. We can do what we want. We can think what we want. We can say what we want. The second that you have people in power telling you, if you don't say, well, this is the right thing to say, even though it's opinion, and you go to jail, and your family can be fined, you're going to lose your job, and your social credit score is going to be horrible, so everyone's going to look at you as scum. Like, do you not realize how dangerous that is as a society? Actually, you will not be able to think for yourself. Are you not afraid by that?
And then part of the psyop that has been getting a lot of people lately is the mass shootings. So this year, there have been a lot more mass shootings than there have been days of the year. But that right there should be your initial red flag. As in, if all of these mass shootings were quite literal, person A wakes up angry as fuck, grabs a gun and goes, kills everybody. My guy, just think of Columbine. We made a big deal out of that shit. We made a big deal out of that shit. But guess what? We're not making a big deal out of it. I guarantee you didn't even know the statistics. I guarantee you didn't even know that there are more mass shootings this year than there have been days of the year. But that's how you know this ain't fucking real. Because they're just trying to brainwash you into thinking, oh my God, the guns are dangerous, take them away now. I can't believe it's all happening like this. Why? No, you fucking dumbass. Think about Columbine. The one time something actually happened, oh yeah, it was broadcasted. Big time. Big time. So that's how you know. If this shit ain't being broadcasted or talked about or anything like that, it's just fucking propaganda. And you guys have to wake up and understand that they are trying to take our guns away and trying to take our rights. And they will lie to you, bro. They will lie to you. And then to all the people that say, well, my aunt, my uncle actually did die at that event, I'm not going to disagree with you because that is real. But you know where I can disagree with you? You don't know the shooter. You don't know where the plans are. Like, there was a shooting in Texas, and the guy had fucking $100,000 truck. Fucking
That's an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah. Like, you had
For a poor family.
Like, not only that, look up Project Deep Through if you can find a server that'll really allow it. The kid was under hypnosis from his therapist.
So although the shooting may have happened, right? Like I said, your uncle did die. All that was real, right? Right? So you agree with me. You still don't know where the fuck the shooter came from. And that's the point. He was a psyop. It was meant to happen. I hate to tell you that the government killed your uncle, but yeah, they did, bro. That's just the dirty, ugly truth. So stop blaming it on that kid and understand where he got the $100,000 truck, all the guns, all that, because it's not free. That shit doesn't just happen.
He had so much ammunition too. He had like tens of thousands of dollars worth of ammunition, and his family was dirt poor. I think like one of his either mother or father was jobless. Like, it doesn't take a lot of common sense to realize that doesn't make sense. I mean, these are literal psyops. Hypnosis is real. Look up MK Ultra. It's an actual FBI file from the 60s or 70s where they've documented it very well, and it's released to the public. We can actually read about it. It is real. It sounds crazy, but it is real. There were FBI documents telling you that this is real.
I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this, but I'm going to say it anyway. And I can use a source for this just because of how they screwed the man's life. Alex Jones and the Sandy Hook hoax. Regardless of what you believe, you cannot find one genuine image of that school. You cannot find a single genuine person who was at that event who wasn't an actor. You look at all of like the real mass hysteria, the shootings, all that stuff. It happens to be the same people who are on the reportings.
And then on top of that, if you guys watched our Maui videos, then you know about the chief of police and how they can just pick you up and put you there. Guys, they have control over this shit. Like, oh man, this shit is crazy.
I definitely see it. It's so much easier to just sit back in your lazy boy with TikTok in one hand and
talk in the other.
Yeah, or having, you got your Netflix up here. No, you got HBO Max. You're watching Euphoria. Oh, there's nothing like sexualizing a bunch of young teens on that show. They're all on drugs. They're strung out on drugs. They all got family problems. Oh man, that's real relatable for you guys, isn't it? They want it to be.
And RIP to that guy who died. I think it's Angus.
Angus something.
Angus Beef.
But he literally died from a drug overdose. Like, that's exactly who he portrayed in this film. It's just, guys, open your eyes. Seriously.
This shit ain't a TV show. And then it's funny because a lot of you guys will be in the comments like, yeah, you're right, it's not a TV show. Shut the fuck up, Becky. Shut up. Because you're the problem. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. Because it's like, I don't need you to comment that. I need you to actually wake up tomorrow and do something about it. Like we are making this YouTube video. Because these little comments or anyone that just tries to almost like fake support, that's the shit that pisses me off. Because then people don't want to wake up to the real issue. They just like to hand out clout and be like, hey, are you happy you got 100,000 views or this and that? And it's like, no, we're not. Because you're still acting ignorant.
It's definitely so much easier to just be ignorant. And I'm not saying that as like a gotcha. No, I mean, if you can see the whole gender psyop going on right now, how they want to remove biological sex, if you can see the mass shootings and not see how the pharmaceutical industry is involved in that, if you can see something like the Buffalo shooting and not realize, not put the pieces together that no 18-year-old can. Those guns, you couldn't even get those guns if you wanted to. They were like military, assigned, you know?
Well, he had a connect, okay, guys? Motherfucker, then you find that connect then. Tell me how easy it is.
Speaking of shootings, let's bring up the Las Vegas shooting. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's the one where the chief of police of Las Vegas at the time. He literally works for Maui now. And Maui, there are more children missing in Maui right now than people that died in 9/11. And that is, has your news station, your mainstream news station told you that? No, they don't want you to know that.
You shouldn't even be watching news in the first place. Please
Exactly.
shut your TV off
Yes.
right now. It's not helping you.
Watch
Fox
the
News,
encryption.
don't do it. It's all controlled opposition.
Yeah.
You gotta go deep to find the truth. You gotta get dirty, man. You gotta get some grease under your fingernails.
Put the gloves on.
Yeah, put the
baby.
gloves on like OJ over here.
Oh, whoa. Yes. See, you guys were funny too.
I think that shit. That'd be good. Yeah, the Las Vegas shooting. It's going to really hurt. But that was completely staged. Think about it. Immediately after it, what did they ban? The bump stocks. Even the NRA, the precious NRA, Ted Nugent, they were for the ban of bump stocks. Which, yeah, it increases the fire rate of the guns. But if you looked, how many clips he was emptying, he wasn't using bump stocks. Those were LMGs. Those were a bunch of government weapons. No, that dude wasn't able to get those. Not only that, but his house burned down, and the dude's brother had child porn, like terabytes of child porn on his computer, and that guy's missing now. So you can look all this up. Seriously, it sounds outlandish because it's supposed to be. You're not going to hear anything about that. When's the last time you heard about the Las Vegas shooting? That's the worst mass shooting in U.S. history, and you don't hear anything about it anymore.
You heard it the week of, and then it was it. That was
Ironic, isn't it?
The dude's house burned down with all the evidence in it.
burnt down.
Again, ironic, isn't it?
It's gonna, really, we're just belaboring the obvious here. You guys gotta do the research. I'd say we've really covered everything on the topic of child pornography, how that affects the industry, how that affects media in general. One more thing.
How they tell a vision.
Yeah, that's
Honestly,
real right
another
there.
thing too, the American language is so unique compared to languages around the world. The wordplay in the American language is so real. Think of breakfast. Break fast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. No, it's not. It's the most unhealthy meal of the day. You don't need that at all. When you wake up, you're supposed to be fasting. But like I said, we're not going to drag this video out. We've covered a lot, but trust us, we are coming out with a lot more of these roundtable podcasts. So if there's anything you guys want us to kind of break down that you're aware of, that you're wondering about, feel free to let us know. We'll cover it in the next talk.
One more thing, guys. You just gotta always remember, real eyes, real lies.
The English language, guys. What can I fucking say?
For real.
Alright, guys. So, I'm Peter.
My name's Tanner.
And I'm Peyton.
And this has been the Decryption Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, guys.